KTM 390 Adventure, the baby adventure from the KTM adventure lineups. Ever since this has been showcased, it has created a lot of buzz among the motorcycle enthusiasts. The wait has just went a bit longer, and finally when this was launched in 2020, it has actually received a mixed response from a lot of the people. So the mixed responses were like the lack of the spokes wheels, lack of the low end power, lack of the long travel suspension, and the seat height, which is 855 mm, which is tallest in the segment. So there have been all these aspects which has kind of created a lot of doubts in the potential buyers, and they were thinking, should they really go for this machine or not? Riding my Dominar, and I wanted to move on to adventure bike which can provide me a much more comfort on the long tourings, have more capabilities where I can take it to the trails as well. I went and took the first test ride, had clarified a couple of doubts. Then again I went for the second test drive to be certain that I am making the right choice by investing in this motorcycle. 20,000 plus kilometers. Did I make a right choice? I'm going to share my thoughts in this video. Hello you lovely friends, welcome to Raj RideStories. This is Raj, and in today's video I'm going to share my long-term ownership review of the 390 Adventure from the KTM. So in today's video we will look back at the 20,000 plus kilometers which I've ridden on this motorcycle. I'm going to discuss in detail the modifications, what I've done on this motorcycle, the performance, what it has offered both on the highways and the off-roads. Do make sure to watch the video till the end to get all the information what you required by watching this video. And if in case you have not yet subscribed to the channel, please hit the red button. So let's start the details of the video. So first off, let's start with the modifications in mind, the touring perspectives, because as I tour a lot more than the trials, so the major concern for me is to add on the accessories which can make my touring experience much better. So I'm not going to go details on the modifications what I've done on the bike. So for that I'm going to make a separate video in detail. So starting from the front, I have recently added the GV windshield. This is the tall windshield from GV. This is actually making a life much better on the highways. Then we have the two fog lamps from JG. This actually gives you a very good illumination on the road, especially in the dark. Then the crash guards from the Zana. What else? Then we have the Bobo holder for the GPS mount. So I had the saddle racks from the Art of Motorcycle. Recently I shifted to the Zana panniers. You would have watched that video. If in case you haven't, I will put the link in the description. Do watch out that video. It's a very exciting video because it's a lovely accessory on the motorcycle which gives you a beautiful look, but practically also that helps a lot when we are doing long tourings, especially the highway tourings. Then what else? From the technical perspectives, I haven't touched anything on the motorcycle, like changing the sprockets for a better low end torque, or playing around with the ECUs. I'm not a big fan of doing these changes. I'm pretty satisfied with the way the stock is offering all the performance both on the highway and on the trails as well. So I haven't tweaked anything much with these actually. So also I got the handlebar risers, 1-inch risers from the Carbon Racing. So that actually gives me a better posture when I'm on the long tourings, because my sitting geometry becomes much more upright. So that gives me a much comfortable ride overall. So that's on the modification bit. Now let's talk about the performance part, both on the highways and on the trials, as well as a bit on the CTA aspects. So on the highway, this is where this motorcycle shines a lot. All through the day you do 120 kilometers per hour without any stress. That's how good it is on the highways. You can munch miles like anything. I have done a good amount of highway riding on this motorcycle I've been to Hyderabad, I have been to Visakhapatnam, I have been to Sikkim. I've taken this bike to Sikkim. So we're used to do somewhere like, the 650 kilometers, 700 kilometers. Once my brother has done around like 800 kilometers on this motorcycle without any stress. So that's how good this motorcycle is on the highways. The quick shifter is a boon, man. I mean, you do not have to really use the clutch, especially when you are at the higher gears and when you're trying to drop off the gears. The braking is top notch. Adding on the 1-inch riser has made the life much easier, where the riding triangle has improved a lot. So these are the things which actually adds on so much when you are doing the highway tourings on this motorcycle. And with this windshield, I think this will make life much more easier. Well, look, people do talk about the vibes in the motorcycle. If you go about like 6,500 RPMs, you do get the vibes. But look, I come from the Bajaj background, so I don't have any complaints whatsoever. The throttle is so smooth. The vibrations are like, it's not like a deal breaker. It's not so annoying as well as on the other motorcycles. Overall, on the highway, this is an absolutely a fantastic motorcycle to ride, and at the end of the day, you have a big smile on your face. Let's talk about the off-road capabilities of this bike. Look, I haven't played around with the sprockets or the ECU, as I mentioned already in the video. I am a not big fan of playing around with the technical aspects of the bike until and unless I'm very certain that that's not going to hamper or not going to bring up any issues whatsoever. So keeping that in mind, I have taken this bike in the stock condition to a lot of trails so far. What I've done in and around Bangalore, went to Coorg, then I've done the year-end ride around the North Karnataka side, where there were a lot of good trails. Have taken this to Sikkim. You can understand how bad the roads will be there. So everywhere it has shined. It has never given me any problem. Yes, it's just that you need to get used to the way the engine responds, your throttling, your clutch work and everything. So just then if you are initially able to work around those things, I think you will understand the characteristics of this bike, and you will really understand how to really play around with this bike on the trails, both technical as well as the normal trails. The lightweight nature of this bike is so plus point when you're taking it to the trials, because when you drop it, you don't have to really struggle to get the bike up. There have been a lot of talks about the lack of long travel suspension. Trust me, this is an amazing bike where the suspension really doesn't bottom out, and the front suspension is absolutely fantastic. I'm not a very expert in the off-road riding, but I have seen people who are experts in it. They have bashed this motorcycle left, right and all, but this has not given up. For my style of riding, I think this bike is an absolute gem for both off-road, on-road. Wherever I take it, it has given me only smiles. So the more I'm riding, the more I'm falling in love with this fantastic motorcycle. Now let's talk about the service intervals and the service costs what we had on this motorcycle. So 20,000 kilometers, the first service was done at 1,000 kilometers. The second one around like 7,500 kilometers. The third one somewhere like 13,000 kilometers before I was going on to my year-end ride exploring Karnataka. So the first one, the service cost was like I think 1,800 or 2,000 rupees. I don't remember exactly the numbers. The second one was around like 3,500. The third one, where I had to change the sprocket, even the third one was around like 3,400 kilometers. Now I'm due for the fourth service, so let's see how it comes up. But I don't think so it's going to give you a big hole in your pocket for the service costs, because overall the service costs of the KTMs are kind of very reasonable, and even your spare parts also, it's not going to cost you a bomb, the spare parts also, so you do not really have to worry about those things. Next, let's talk about the quality of overall quality of the bike. well, I do not have any complaints on this aspects as well. I feel the quality of the bike has been really good. It has taken a fall once or twice on the trails. It never had any issues actually. If you see the overall quality of the bike, I mean, where you look at even the panels here, or the handlebars, or your side panels whatsoever, okay, so everything is really good. Even the paint quality of the bike is also really good, where the paint is really still good. Okay, there are no signs of the paints coming off, etc. So on that note, right, the overall quality, the build quality of the bike is really good. If you ask me, the things which actually I didn't like in the bike, there are not many, but I'm trying to find out. The suspension, don't have to really complain a big time, but I think that could have been much better for better play actually. The compression is good, the rebound is where it lacks, so that's something which I believe can be worked upon, so that the people will find it a much better experience riding this motorcycle. The front, no doubts about it, but the rear is something which I'm actually looking out. So let's see, if I find a better one, I'll keep you posted on that. Apart from that, I am not really sure why that happens, but when you are riding at around like in the third gear and at like 20 kilometers per hour, this panel actually kind of shakes here and there, and that's something doesn't give you a good impression. Some of the improvements what I'm still looking on this bike, better riding experience is one, as I said just in the previous point, that I'm planning to change the rear suspension for a better comfort, so that my experience will be much better on this motorcycle. That's one major thing. I need to figure out the issue with my top rack, because if in case you have watched my Pant installation video, I had to remove the top rack which I've been using from the Automill. Then apart from that, I'm planning to change the knuckle guards to bark busters, not soon but sometime later, because that's going to cost you somewhere like 8,000 to 10,000 rupees if I'm not wrong. So apart from that, I don't really think I have to spend any money on the accessories a bit. So I think I pretty much have everything. I don't want to shell out more money, dude. All right. That brings us to the last section of this video, which is the overall impression of this motorcycle. I will give you thumbs ups, no complaints. I have explained you everything in this video, that you can see from my face that how happy I am owning this machine. Thanks to KTM for coming up with this fantastic machine, and we couldn't have asked for a better machine than this one. Yes, there are some niggles here and there. That's going to be with all the motorcycles, no doubt about it, but it's just that you need to tweak it just a little bit here and there, just to make it more friendly according to your taste. So that's it pretty much from my side in this video. So if you have any questions, put it in the comment section. I'll be happy to answer them. You can also connect with me on Instagram for much detailed conversations. So thank you very much for watching this video. Give a thumbs up if in case you like the video. Subscribe to the channel if in case you haven't yet done so. I'm going to bring in another video with more details on the modifications what I've done on this fantastic machine. So thank you very much once again for watching out this video. Live life, keep traveling, follow your passion. Signing off, Raj. I'll see you again in the next video. Until then, bye bye, take care, love you all. Jai Hind.